Sheep like to be in a fold together. Come on. Are you listening to me? Listen. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as is the manner of some, or as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. In other words, what he said, quit splitting up, but be together. And the closer you see this day approaching, the darker it gets, you need to huddle together even more. Can I get an amen today? Amen. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24. This is the last little illustration I'm going to give you where I'm closing. Anybody ever see Canadian geese flying south, flying north? You've all seen them? Something interesting about Canadian geese. Number one, when they fly, God has instructed them to fly in a V pattern. And from the ground, it looks like they're all just level, but if you can really see what they're doing, they kind of stack on top of each other, like almost in a stair step, and they kind of get in this draft. And it makes it easier for the ones that aren't the lead goose to fly. They can just kind of draft right behind them, just kind of like they do in the races, like NASCAR things. But you know, that lead goose every once in a while gets tired. And so rather than just saying, boys, I'll see you later, I'll see you in Florida after a while, I'm going to land, he won't do that. He'll stay with the pack, he'll stay with the flock, or whatever you want to call them. What's the right word? The flock, is that right? The gaggle? Somebody say gaggle. But he'll just switch positions and let somebody else take the lead from that. And so now he'll ride in the draft, or he'll ride in the drag. Does that make any sense? Amen. And they just keep on flying because they're on their way to Florida. But every once in a while, one of those geese, they get injured. Or they get to where they just can't make it no more. And instead of just switching positions, they have to kind of break off from the pack and they go land. This is what God's instructed them to do. If you read anything about them, it's amazing. When one flies away from the flock, or from the fold, or from the gaggle, whatever you want to call it, two more break off with them and they go sit with him. Until one of two things happens. Either he gets sick and dies, or he gets better and flies. Come on, somebody. But either way, God's not going to let that old goose sit alone. Come on, somebody. When you start wondering why you feel so alone, well, maybe you ain't been flying with the geese. Maybe you've been packing yourself around with a bunch of buzzards. But I'm going to tell you, God is telling you to break out of that fold and get with the right ones that love you and care for you. Come on, because the ones that have really got a heart after God, they're going to watch out for you. They're going to stay with you through thick and thin, whether you're sick or whether you're strong. They're going to hang in there with you. Can I get an amen today? So all three of these lessons God had to teach Elijah. Come on, somebody. Are you ready? Even though you ain't feeling it, you still got to work for God to do. You're not the only one that's going to do the hard stuff. And number three, don't isolate yourself, but you can't do that and be strong. But you've got to be in groups. Come on, somebody. You're stronger like that. So while you stand up every